Hey everybody, this is going to be about Teflon tape. Most of the time I've been pretty much talking bad about it, but I found needs for it mechanically, and it got me thinking, maybe I should talk about it more because it really helped me out recently, and I'm going to show you here later in the video. But before that I kind of thought, well, is it really necessary? Like I said, most of the stuff that I have that came with this didn't really need it, but I did encounter a problem with this Gal Studio rifle where I had to put something in here. I replaced the spherical magnets with cylindrical magnets, and they wanted to get caught up, and the Teflon tape made that nice and easy on the inside. And the nice part is it's all internal, and you don't see any of it. That's one of my gripes about Teflon tape too, is it's just, not only did I think it was kind of unnecessary, but it's just unattractive. A lot of the time it looks like a Band-Aid. But this Teflon that I have came from mostly carbon fiber sliders. You see they came with a pre-cut piece here, and the parts that I actually used were salvaged from this, where you can see through these slots here. That just peeled off, and that's what I used for the sort of repair work that I'm going to show you. So normally you'd put this sticker on one of these sides, and then it would be a lot more slipperier. But I didn't really feel the need for it, and I'm able to use, these scrap pieces now for other purposes. And then this was the other slider that came with a similar type of Teflon sticker. And yeah, that's it. We're going to get into it right away. So this piece came in the mail today. It's the new mechanical 01 EDC slider, and I'm really happy with it. And that's going to be a whole separate video, but it just came today, and I really haven't had a lot of time with it. But it got me thinking about my original magnetic 01 EDC, and it was getting a little bit grindy, and I just thought, boy, this is so smooth, so smooth. And it reminded me, like when this was brand new, how smooth it was. And I looked at it closer and closer, and I started to think, maybe these magnets, some of them look like they're deteriorating a little bit, and there could be flakes of them coming off. It's really hard to tell here, and I haven't taken it to work to look at it under the microscope. But yeah, I'm worried. I cleaned out some gunk out of this, and it's not like the gunk came out of my pockets, so it's kind of a question. Either way, it's making it kind of sticky and grindy, and I, with this new kid in town, I was just like, I really want that. I want to try that. I'm gonna play with the tape. I'm gonna try it on this and see how it goes. And if you have these, in particular, the kind that come with these carbon fiber sliders, these middle parts here are what I salvaged. So you don't need, normally they'd expect you to throw that middle part away because, which one would be the best one to show you with? Well, any one of them, I guess. But if you were to put this on here, you wouldn't need the two pieces that normally filled in here. I peeled them out and used them. That's what I'm trying to say. But it is kind of convenient because it's already cut into a nice rectangular piece, and then you can cut that in half yourself if you want to, or do whatever you want with it. In this case, I left it the same width. As you can see, it's about the same width here, and I just covered up the magnets. Pushed it down nice. Now my concern is whether these little edges are going to start to get caught and roll up, or get sticky, or get undone, or whatever. But I did it on both sides. I do like the fact that it's black against stainless. It goes together well like this. It's a little less obvious to me too when I see it. Another thing I didn't like about tape was the cosmetic part of it, where I don't know, you see that on a lot of CP3s where it just looks like a big Band-Aid on the inside, and I got away with just these little strips, and I still, it's just enough to make it like buttery smooth, but it doesn't eliminate all the friction. Like there's still some friction on the sides, so you don't lose everything. But it did dramatically improve how this one functions. So that got me going, and I started thinking, well, you know what? I've really had some problems with this black mirror space capsule, and I've been using oil. Now this is titanium, and we think, the people that have reviewed this so far, we think the middle piece is either brass or bronze. Doesn't really matter. The fact is, it gets gummed up. If you have titanium, if the body is titanium, it starts to get sticky, just like titanium on titanium kind of has a tendency to get sticky. So my solution was a little drop of oil, which I hate to do. And I figured, well, you know, this worked so well, this tape, I'm going to try it. And when I took a closer look at this, the only real place to put the tape is in these tiny little narrow slots. But it's easy to do. You know, you just cut the tape down to size and clean everything out real good. It's important that there's no oil or anything. But I got them in there, and that's where all the that's the contact surface, so to speak. And the way I found that out was by looking at it from the side and shining a very bright light down in the back here, and I was able to see, I could see through the middle here a channel of light, but then the two tracks that come down are what actually make contact. So it's these two surfaces. Anyhow, we'll see how that holds up over time. It did seem to weaken it a little bit. I mean, this wasn't a particularly strong magnet slider to begin with. I'm not sure, maybe a little bit. It does, I mean, we've added some space there, and that's obvious on this too. I noticed it right away. I didn't measure this before and after, but that gap is definitely wider than it was before. So, you know, I think there is someone working on Teflon tapes of different thicknesses. So that's an interesting thought. But this might solve my problem here. I might not have to use oil on that anymore. We'll see how that goes. And then an obvious one came up to me. This poor thing. I do not hold CompoForm responsible, but one of the magnets, well, not one of the magnets, 3 of them at least, the skin of the magnet has just deteriorated. And it's not as though the magnet was ever sticking up above the surface. It's not like it was ever being rubbed. There was never friction on it. These are all properly below the surface. It just sort of flaked away. And that's the same way I found these two. And what's funny is I've hardly used this. I bought it when it was new. I do believe I bought it used, but I don't think it had much use. You know, it was right when they came out, so whoever had it didn't even have it very long. But yeah, it had gotten to a point. Now I've cleaned it up pretty well. You know, a trick to cleaning up magnet dust too is to get a piece of get yourself some clear tape, 1/2 inch wide Scotch tape or whatever, and then use it to press down and do it over and over again. Don't use the same spot on the tape. Keep moving it so you have a fresh sticky spot, and it'll pick up all that magnetic debris that gets caught down in here. So we'll see if this continues to deteriorate. I'd hate to have to replace that, but I've taken all the dirt out of here that I can. These two, the skin of the magnet was just like this one. It was totally worn down. So I took some extra Teflon tape and just covered those up. And, you know, it went from super sluggish to, now I'm out of practice with this one. But, yeah, it's almost like I remember it being new. So we'll see how that holds up. I'd like to hear in the comments if you use tape, or are you finding that it stays something like that? Do you think that's going to stick, or do you think it's going to start to peel up on the sides and stuff? I don't know. Only time will tell, I guess. And I didn't feel like there was a need to do anything with the middle button yet. I still think, you know, I would use tape sparingly. Another good reason to use tape is preservation. I didn't really think of that before, but a lot of you folks have toys that are a lot more expensive than mine. I buy stainless steel for the most part, and it's a lot less expensive than zirconium. I don't know, the other things out there too, but if you're trying to preserve it, and you might resell it, a lot of you do a lot of trading and everything, you keep it for a week or so and then decide you don't like it and want to get something else. And being able to preserve the surfaces as close to new as possible would be a good thing if you're going to be able, to resell it at a good value. So that's another good reason to use tape. But for me, it's more of a mechanical fix. And lastly, I wasn't going to do this because this one was pretty much okay. It was a little grindy. And again, the magnets, it's hard to say if they're the culprit. These ones look okay. The middle magnets look okay. The body magnets looked a little worse. Let's see here. This looks like it might be wearing. Maybe that's a little too close to the edge. It might be wearing down already. Well, we'll see how it holds up. Anyhow, like I said, I hate to see when the whole surface of the inside is covered up with that Teflon tape. It kind of looks like a Band-Aid. And maybe it wouldn't look so bad if it was all black or transparent. But I'm trying to get away with just 2 strips, like I said before, salvaged from the middle parts of a Teflon strip for a carbon fiber slider. And we'll see how that goes. But it did make a big improvement. So I understand now the appeal of tape. Even if it's not for preserving it, and it's not because you're trying to make it quiet, it can certainly make something a lot smoother, especially if you have no other way of getting it smoother. Natural wear, things like that, minor damage, like I'm experiencing, some magnet issues. I don't know if it's magnet dust or if it's just, normal wear. But yeah, I was wrong. I'm not going to preach no tape anymore, but I use it sparingly, and I'd still say, you could get away with using it sparingly if you use your toys like I do and not worry about it too much. But it definitely has a purpose, and it got me out of a little bit of a pickle here. So that's it. I just wanted to share that quick, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye.